in that scenario in which Brazil and Argentina go to war. Well, as Brazil invades Argentina, they also move in on two fronts. They also open a front in Uruguay, as it's going to be hard to use such a narrow spot to get in to Argentina, so they invade Uruguay as well, which leads to a stalemate. A pretty solid stalemate, if I say what's there. With Bolivia being asked to join by Argentina and promised former territories that Brazil has taken in the north. Bolivia, because there's a bit of lands that Bolivia used to have to the north of it, which is important because, well, this is a good reason to join a war to gain lands, I guess. That's their opinion. That probably is a good one. Because I think every country wants land. Like, who doesn't want more land? Well, America and China is conquering the world silently, along with France. Probably Britain. They all are buying the world, literally. With Brazil moving some troops to the north. With that pushing them back, but they also get pushed back a bit in the south, just because they took enough troops to get forced back this much. But these forces they move towards Bolivia, well, they push back to the border. With Bolivia asking Peru for help. Yep, everybody's teaming up now. I think Brazil just started an anti-Brazil pact. With Brazil managing to hold a stalemate in the north with Peru, as the terrain is challenging for an invasion. But Brazil decides to invade them in the south. And they offer Paraguay some former territories from both Argentina and Bolivia, which both take in some lands from Paraguay, which isn't right. With Paraguay invading Bolivia with the help of Brazil, with the idea to capture La Paz and Sucre, with Argentina launching a counter-offensive against the Paraguayan forces, as they push the Paraguayan forces back to the border, and they start to occupy parts of its territory in the south. But Chile is worried to join. But a Bolivian troop next to the Chilean border attacks. Quickly they are kicked out by Chile, but this is the last stone to Chile. Argentina not invading yet because they're trying to hold a stalemate and they don't have enough forces to stop them. So, well, I guess it's not a good thing. But they kind of asked for it, to be honest. With Chile joining in to secure its territories. And they invade a bit in northern Argentina, expecting a conflict in these areas of Argentina. And while Bolivia is the first nation to be in a lot of trouble, with Sucre falling and then La Paz. So Bolivia is now fighting basically on two fronts, with Bolivian troops kicked right to Argentina's border, with Ecuador seeing this as a good thing. But Colombia sees Brazil as the aggressor, so they don't help Ecuador, which is kind of mean. With Peru offering them some lands. With Venezuela planning on joining Brazil's side. Yes, so I decided I'd turn it into the Great South American War. I guess Colombia, we can say, is like the wannabe Prussia. With this area falling, and Colombian troops are arriving on the Bolivian front, well, they start to push towards Argentina's forces, with Argentina pushing north. But as Colombian troops are leaving to the south, Venezuela decides to join, with its goal being to take lands that it believes are rightfully theirs. With it even starting an invasion of Guyana without declaring war on Guyana. And well, I guess this is not good. You've literally brought a full continent to war. Are you proud of yourself, Brazil? Honestly, are you proud of yourself, like, for making everybody invade everyone, Brazil? Like, yeah. Are you proud of yourself? And also, hopefully the British government did not see that mistake, this mistake. Where is it a mistake? Who even knows anymore? Like, honestly, maybe we should just give every random island, Britain, France, the Netherlands, and the US a hold and don't give them proper rights. You should just give them all independence. And yeah, already off to a random topic about territories. And Norway, your islands, let's give them independence. Well, not the main islands, but the islands in the South Atlantic and the Southern Ocean, yeah. With Surinam's invasion of southern Guyana starting. Well, it goes pretty well, with Guyana falling and Surinam's troops now moving to the rest of the front, or the Colombian front. The Colombian troops are moving up to the Colombian front. And while Argentina has enough forces that they decide to launch a Chilean counteroffensive. They believe they can completely, destroy and dismantle Chile. In this offensive, they quickly cross the border near the capital, Santiago. And then they start moving north. And well, they move north. And they move north. And they move north even more. And now my voice sounds funny. What's your prize? Probably because I'm a wild mapper. Yeah, mappers just are different. That's all I'm going to say. Mappers are just different. Wonder how many forces are being used to occupy territories. Chile not fully out, but basically it is. With Paraguay taking the time to launch a counteroffensive, kicking Argentina back, and Brazil takes it to basically counteroffend its full front occupied. As Colombia is working tirelessly on freeing its front line with Venezuela. This is their plan, to free their front line with Venezuela, which they managed to do. And then they start their counteroffensive into Venezuela, which was a plan between Brazil and Venezuela. We'll let them invade you for a bit, and then I'll invade them. Which they don't realize, but they've walked into a trap. As Peru and Colombian troops start moving deep in. And they're like, why are we being let in so easy? But they don't think of anything. With Brazil launching an offensive in the south, quickly moving up and encircling the city of Bogota and taking the city. With Colombia starting to lose its coastal cities. And while many troops are caught out here with being encircled. Basically, they start getting encircled. But they're not going to leave their country. They promise to protect every inch of their country. Even though they're encircled and eventually they're forced into surrender. The offensive in northern Peru going really well. And they even managed to fully liberate Ecuador. Yeah, you can see this war isn't going well for the side that wants to win. And well, Chile starts an offensive. And nobody knew they had their forces down there. Nobody even thought that would be possible. But guess what? They did. With them now cutting across to meet up with Brazil's forces, and Brazil's forces meeting is forced into capitulation at this point. And Peru capitulates. Which, with Argentina being forced into capitulation, but they don't surrender yet, even though they have no chance of winning. With Chile starting an offensive in them, and, Paraguay. Everybody is attacking Argentina at this point, and the original territory Argentina had has fallen, so Argentina surrenders. So let's see the peace treaty, the Treaty of Rio. Yeah, we'll call it the Treaty of Rio. So let's see the peace treaty. Lands from Colombia, and they took their claim lands from Guyana. Same with Suriname, but they also took some north. And Guyana still exists. And while Ecuador took a tiny bit from Colombia, Brazil took a tiny bit from Colombia, and, Venezuela. With Chile, Brazil, and, Ecuador taking some lands from Peru, and Peru's still independent. And, well, big chunk of land's taken from Brazil, big chunk of land from Bolivia taken by Paraguay, and a big chunk taken by Chile. And, well, in South America, you can say Chile took Patagonia, and Chile took these lands, and Paraguay expanded into parts of it, and all of Uruguay was annexed by Brazil, and parts of Argentina, including most of the panhandle. And that's pretty much all for today's video. Please like, subscribe, and comment so we can get to 3,000 subscribers by December 25th. Bye, guys!